Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie and we are here today to talk about my spring 2026 knitting and crochet plans. So if you watched my my knitting podcast, this is 11. She will be our videographer today. She will be adjusting the camera as needed. But if you watched my knitting podcast from last week, some of these will look familiar because I do have a couple whips that I want to finish before I get casting on or chaining on. I don't know. I don't know what the equivalent is of crochet. But before I get started on some new projects. So the first thing that I want to finish is my cinema sweater by Kudavakika, or from Kudavakika. So I am officially 81 hours in. And this is where we're at. So, I have not done the ribbing because so we're gonna go on a little tangent here. So my, needle set, my Knit Pick needles, they go from 3.5 millimeters to 8 millimeters. And the shortest cable is for 24-inch set. But I did the top ribbing in the 3.5 millimeters, but I wanted to size down to the 3 millimeters that is recommended for the pattern for the bottom ribbing. So I ordered a new set of shorties because I figured that I could also use a 16-inch cable for the sleeve instead of trying to do DPNs because I don't actually have DPNs in a 4.5 millimeter, which is the size needed for this pattern. So I ordered a set of shorties and the shorties came and I was at work and I took the shorties, the 3 millimeters with me because I knew that I would get, I would finish, only had like 2 rows left. So I knew that at lunch I would finish these last two rows and be able to start the ribbing. And then whenever I went to put the shorties onto my 60-inch cable, the threading isn't the same, so I couldn't start on the ribbing at that point. So instead I just went to the sleeve. So at this point I am, I believe, 2 decreases in on the sleeve. Yeah. So this first one is just so I knew where to start, and I am 2 decreases in on the sleeve, and I believe it is a total of 7 decreases for my size that I'm making. But my plan is to just finish this real sad little skein of yarn and then go back to the ribbing because for me, at least with crocheting, I don't get stuck on Sleeve Island. I get stuck in ribbing hell. So I would rather get the ribbing on the bottom done before I go back and finish the sleeve. So that is my plan, is to finish the ribbing, or finish this skein of yarn, finish the ribbing, go back to my sleeves, and hopefully get everything done. I am hoping that I will spend I really wanted to spend less than 100 hours on this sweater, but that's not going to happen because I have 19, I'm 81 hours in, so I have 19 hours left to do the bottom ribbing and a sleeve and a half. Not gonna happen. So my goal is just to finish this sometime in February and then cast on another one. So this is my yarn for this project. So as you can see, I do still have a good number of the blacks left and plenty of the color. And the stripe pattern that I'm doing is 24 rows of black per 2 rows of like a color. So I do 6 rows black, 2 rows color, 6 rows black, 2 rows color. So every light blue stripe, I've done 24 rows of black before I do the 2 rows of the light blue. So the single skein of the light colors, or the colors that I have, are plenty. I might just need to, I definitely will need to order a couple more skeins of the black from Hobie. But I plan on making the second one in a small so I can sell that in my Etsy. Because this is meant to be very oversized, I figured a small would fit between like a small and probably a large. So it would be a nice size range depending on how oversized you want your sweater to be. So that is my plan, is to finish this cinema sweater, immediately start casting on another one. So a lot of cinema sweaters in my future. And I've decided that whenever I am tired of working on a raglan, I'm going to work on another raglan. So I want to work on the Tulsa tee, and I'm going to do that in the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. This is in the color Blue Tit. And I have already made my gauge swatch last night. It's on my blocking board. So I used the recommended 5mm needles. It's still, actually I think it's dry at this point. I did stretch it to 4 inches wide, and the length is also in gauge as well. I didn't do the full rows because I didn't feel like it. Felt like this would be enough. This is 2/3 of the rows that I needed, and this is 6.5 centimeters. So that is gauge, and then it stretched out to gauge. And I like the opacity of the fabric. So you can kind of see through it a little bit on the blocking board, but I feel like when it's on like my body, it won't be see-through at all. The only issue is I did not buy enough yarn. Of course I didn't. For my size with the bust shaping, so I do have like 6 inches between my upper bust and my full bust. And this pattern includes bust shaping. That's optional bust shaping, and I would like to do the optional bust shaping. So I have I ordered 750, or I was gonna say 750 yards, but that doesn't sound, 750 meters of double-stranded yarn. So I'm going to need more. So I have six skeins. I'm going to do this double-stranded. Each skein is 250 meters, so 750 meters total. Excuse you. 750 meters total of yarn once it's double-stranded. And that's Blair. She likes plastic, and that is my tissue paper for wrapping my items that I sell. But I need, I believe it's like 964 meters is the recommended amount for my size with the F cup bust shaping. So sorry this is so chaotic. So I'm going to need to buy another probably 3, I'll buy 4 skeins just to be safe. Luckily I'm getting my nails done today, and right across the street from my nail shop is a yarn shop that sells the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, and they do have Blue Tit in stock. So I will be stopping there either before or after my nail appointment, picking up the 4 skeins that I need. Hopefully it's the same dye lot. If not, hopefully it is close enough that it'll work. But yeah, that is my plan. After I finish this first cinema sweater, is to cast on a Tulsa tee. And then I want to go back and work on some other whips that I have. So my grandma's cardigan, I did find the rest of it, so good news there. If you watched my podcast, I talked about how I had lost this multiple times. But the rest of this is in my trunk. So I know where it is. I just have to get it out of my trunk, which I'll have to do at some point because for work I'm going to have to take some stuff on a little trip to Ohio. So I'll need to empty out my trunk to put the work stuff in there. But I have finished the back and one of the front panels. So this is the second front panel, and then I just need to do the sleeves, then the button band. And then I forgot to show this in my podcast, but I did buy the buttons. It's just some simple black buttons. They're nice and big because my grandma has arthritis, so they will be easy for her to operate. I bought 6 of them. I think I'm probably only going to use 5. I think the pattern calls for 5 buttons. I think the pattern only calls for 5 buttons, so I'm just going to do 5 buttons. Maybe 4 because they are so big, but I'll just have to see how the spacing works whenever I get to the button band. So that is the 4th thing that I want to work on. Also in the springtime, because we are warming up, I want to work on things that are not cardigans and sweaters. So I want to work on my Snapdragon top. So I have it in here. I don't know why she just slapped me. But this is the Snapdragon top from Daisy and Dime. So I have this is the back. So I have the whole back lace part done. And then I have the first front panel, or the first front shoulder done, and I'm working on the second front shoulder. So I'll just need to finish this part, which is the longest part because it is the lace. And then from there, it is just this shell stitch the entire way around. This is a wrap top, so it will have a lot of volume, so it will be pretty big. But I would like to have this done. Let's see, I'm going to a festival in May. I'm going to EDC in May, so maybe I'll want to wear this to EDC. It's not very festival appropriate, but it will be cute. So I might try to finish this for mid-May. And I want to finish the cardigan as soon as possible so I can get it to my grandma because it was a Christmas present. And then once I finish that, the next thing I want to cast on, so going back to knitting again, is the Sunday top from Danny Girardi. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But I want to make that in the seashell from Hobie. So this is a cotton viscose linen blend, so it should make a really nice lightweight top. This is a sport weight yarn, which is what the pattern calls for. There are not a lot of sport weight yarns, a lot of sport weight patterns that I have found that I like, but I do like the Sunday top. And I will decide whenever I get the pattern itself. I have not bought the pattern yet, but once I do, I will look at the yardage and how much I have. So this is my seashell basket. I was gonna use it to make the Serena tea, but I've changed my mind. I like the Sunday tea better. So this is what I have for seashell. So I'll have to see if that's enough to make a tea for me, and if not, then I will make one for my Etsy shop. Also, if I make it, I don't always wear, sorry, videographer's hard at work. I don't always wear the stuff that I make. So sometimes it is just better for me to make it and sell it to somebody who will actually wear it and enjoy it and love it. Because I like the process of knitting and crocheting. Having a finished garment is great, but it's not always like for me. So that is my plan for the Sunday top, to make it in the seashell. I don't remember what the actual name of this color is, but it's color 11 on Hobie's website. I think it's like turquoise, or aqua. It's probably a turquoise. Actually, I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. The color on the camera is pretty much matching the color in real life. So I'm not sure what you would call it. But I know Hobie's names don't always match, their colors. So those are all of the big projects that I plan on making. And then I have a couple little things that I want to work on. I did get this Woolies Thick and Quick. I'm going to just use this to make a couple beanies for my shop. I want to use up some of my... Oh, this is not nice at all. Some of my Lily Sugar and Cream. I use this to make bucket hats and tote bags. So I'll see if I have enough to make a tote bag. If not, I'll use it to make some bucket hats, because spring is coming. This is my spring makes, and summer is coming, hopefully, at some point. I don't know. It's really cold again. It's not -19 like it was the last time I recorded, but it is currently 4. So it's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. But at some point, I've heard that summer is coming. And the girlies like bucket hats, and tote bags are always in season. And then hopefully I will just actually put them in my Etsy shop so I can sell them and get them into somebody's hands who would love them. So yeah, I want to make just a couple like smaller things for my shop, because I do have a bunch of cardigans that are available. I have some tops that I think I need to list, but they will be available. And then other than that, I just have my travel project. So anytime that I am on a plane, I obviously want to keep knitting and crocheting, but I don't want to bring like this with me to work on a sweater. I don't want to be that person like elbowing other people on the plane to try to like work on my big ass sweater. So I have this little bag instead that I made. This is just a scrappy bag that I threw together in like an hour and a half. And in it is my sister's fiance's socks, allegedly socks. So this is 45 minutes of work. I'm not even through the toe at this point. But this is what I will work on whenever I'm flying. I do have 2 work trips loosely planned for the spring. They're both supposed to be in February, but the one is supposed to be next week, or like the day after I post this video. So I don't think that that's going to happen. And then the one is potentially at the end of February, and then we'll just have to see when they actually happen. But the one is flying to Chicago, which is about a 2-hour flight from Pittsburgh. And the other one is a flight to LA, which I don't know that there are currently any direct flights from Pittsburgh to LA. So it would probably be like a flight to Denver and then a layover and then a flight to LA or like Dallas or something. But either way, it's going to be a 2-flight scenario. It's probably going to be like 4 or 5 hours in the air, and then like 1 to 5 hours for a layover, because you never know how layovers go. But this is my flying project that I'll be working on throughout the year. Anytime I fly anywhere, I'll just be working on this. I do also plan on flying to Philly. I'm probably going to fly to Philly in May for my cousin's wedding, and a flight to maybe Florida sometime in the summer. So this is my like long-term project. I'm not planning on finishing this in the spring, but I will plan on working on it during the spring. But yeah, so that is my plans for spring 2026, so February, March, April. So that's what I want to work through, work on, try to get things done, get things going. I have been working pretty much monogamously on the cinema sweater since December 27th when I started it, other than the 2 sweater orders that I had. So it'd be really nice to like get the sweater done and work on something else. I am generally a monogamous project person. Once I start working on something and I'm really into working on it, all of my other whips go into hibernation for the most part. So none of the other whips in this pile over here I have worked on in months. So I don't necessarily want to change that, but I do want to put in work on my other whips. So that's the plan. So yeah, if you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please let me know down in the comments below what your plans for the spring are. Do you have a bunch of whips that you need to get done, or are you planning on casting on a whole bunch of new things? So let me know down below in the comments. And while you're there, please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. I plan on posting weekly. So I'll do like podcasts and vlogs and things like that. Hopefully some project vlogs whenever I actually start a new project. So, and then there will always be cats, because they're everywhere. I've got 3 of them. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, leave that comment down below, and I will see you next week for my next video.